Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for locking in. My name is Sediko Rakolote. I'm the founder and the trustee of the Progressive Socio-Economic Investment Institute, the investment institute that was created for public benefit activities. One of the things that we are doing, we hold seminars on various topics that have got interest, people have got interest on. Today, our topic is about detoxing the body. We've got in our midst a presenter that has experience around the issue of detoxing of the body. She'll present to us on the process one has to follow, the benefits, and we will allow some questions after her presentation. Without a waste of time, colleagues, allow me to welcome Kanyisile Nkosi to take through her presentation. Thank you so much. Kanyisile, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. My name is Kanyisile, as I have just been introduced to you. I'm going to follow exactly the directions or the directives as has been shared with you, process and benefits. Okay, we're going to talk about detoxing or cleansing the body. Reasons first, reasons why one has to detox and cleanse the body is because, of course, we are following a diet that is not benefiting the body, but instead it's clogging up the body because of the refined foods that we are eating. Not just refined foods. It's refined, it's processed, it's canned, it's cartooned, it's, you know, all the things are against this. What we call food, yes.
We're struggling seeing you. We just see a chair and a cable.
Ah, okay. I think I have to turn it around. Hold on for me, please. I'm still figuring this out.
We can't see you. We can't see you.
Let me work it out. Hold on for me, please. My video, there you go. Oh, there you go. Can you see me now?
Now it has turned upside down.
Oh, okay. No.
I'm struggling seeing you.
No, I understand exactly where I went wrong. Let me see what I can do here. I'm using a
colleagues, just give us a minute while Kanyisile is sorting out a camera. We will keep on accepting people into our webinar. We are also live on Facebook. Just sorting some technical glitches.
Stop that one, please.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you can continue, Kanyisile.
Yes, we can continue. I have just logged on to a different device.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, you can see. So I'm still trying to switch the other one off.
You can continue. I've muted it from my side and
okay.
It's off.
All right. I do apologize for that hiccup. Thank you for the opportunity and your patience. My name is Glen Rose Kanyisile. Today we are talking about detoxing the body. I don't know if you can all hear me. I am using my cell phone.
We can hear you, Kanyisile.
Okay. The reasons for detoxing the body is because we are all indulging in foods that are wrong. We are all indulging in refined foods, cartoon foods, you know, all sorts of wrong foods that we are actually consuming. Those foods are actually creating havoc in our systems, we do have to get rid of all the toxins that we're introducing to our system. And that process of getting rid of the toxins is called detoxing or cleansing the body. It is necessary because if we do not do so, it actually brings disease to our system. And the reason why it does so is because when we are full of toxins, we end up with what is called a mucoid plaque. And I'm going to ask you to bear with me here and follow me closely so that we all understand each other. I apologize for the time that I've taken from you guys. So we end up with what is called mucoid plaque. That is a substance that lines our intestines when we eat our refined foods. And because of that, we then experience a problem with absorbing minerals of the foods that we're eating. But remember, the foods that we're eating do not have enough minerals as well, because most of the foods that we're eating are hybridized or genetically modified, carbonated, all sorts of things. So basically, that mucoid plaque is a barrier. It does not allow us to absorb the minerals that are actually fueling our system. So if we detox or cleanse our body, we then allow the system to be able to absorb those minerals. That is after, of course, a thorough detox. How that is done can only be through a process called detoxification, and that can only be done with phosphate of plants, or phosphate of herbs, phosphate of minerals. By so I mean the minerals that we are getting from the plants, not the synthetic ones, but the herbs or the natural alkaline and organic herbs that are actually supporting the body. What do I mean by alkaline? I mean, if anything is alkaline at all, it means that it is of natural value. If it is alkaline, it is of natural organic origin. Things that are of synthetic origin are all acidic. And as we all know, acidic situations or acidic environment invites disease. Acidic environments is where the disease thrives. So basically, we want to get rid of the acidic nature in our body so that we introduce health, so that we actually are able to absorb minerals of the foods that we're eating. Before I go any further, I'm going to allow questions if anybody has questions, so that I don't just run along and forget where I actually started. I don't know if that's okay with you, Mr. Sediko.
It's okay. Colleagues, please, if you've got a question to raise, just raise up your hand, and then I'll identify you, then you can ask a question. If there are no questions for now, we'll allow Kayisile to continue. Then please stop us by raising up your hand if you want to ask a particular question. I think for now, there is no question. You can continue.
Okay, let me continue. So basically what we do in the process of detoxing the body, we first thing that we do is sitting down with you. What is it for it to be effective? The first thing, of course, is the food that we are eating. You have to get rid, or you have to stop eating the foods that are damaging the system. If you obviously want the best out of life and there is no effectiveness in what you're doing, you have to change your ways. So in this case, if there is no effectiveness in reversing a disease, and hear me very well, reversing a disease, we reverse disease through healthy living. So when you want to reverse a disease, you have to change your ways, you have to change your diet. And people often ask, of course, many questions about how they can effectively change their diet. It is very easy. Just as much as you were introduced to this diet that you are so accustomed with, you can go right ahead and actually get yourself used to the healthy living or the healthy ways of eating. I'm saying it's easy because if you are serious about your health, if you would love to change what you're doing wrong, and you can see that what you have been doing has introduced a disease in your system, it's easy. It's very easy to actually take a decision to say, look, I just want to do things differently. So what we do is we sit down with you and we explain to you what alkaline. Please forgive me about that. So explain to you what alkaline foods are and what acidic foods are. We make sure that you understand which foods are healing and which foods are actually disease in your system. We then, of course, give you a list of foods that are alkaline, the foods that are actually beneficial to your system, and minerals in your system. I'm getting a call which is disturbing me. I apologize about that. So basically what we do is we stay with you throughout. Sorry about that. This one's fine. I apologize about that disturbance. It's people who are in need of help. I'm, trying to juggle here and there. So there's people who are, of course, requesting some herbs and stuff. So as I was still explaining, we explain food to you, and we explain alkalinity, we explain acidity. Through the process of us explaining exactly what is it that you have to do for you to be able to obtain optimal results through the process of detoxing, then you have an understanding, of course, of what is it that you have to stay away from, what foods you have to stay away from. And most people, of course, if we tell them the kinds of foods that are actually detrimental to their system, the first thing that they don't want to get rid of is meat and all meat products, because of course it's a habit, they're addicted to those kinds of foods. And another thing, it is because of course we have been told that we need protein, we need to eat meat to stay strong, we need to eat this food because of that. But little do they realize that the protein that they so much praise, the protein that they think they get from a cow, they can actually get it directly from the plants, or directly from where the cow is getting the protein from. To just explain and elaborate on that a little bit, no animal can actually convert nitrogen into protein, no animal. Only plants can convert nitrogen into usable protein. So the fact that we're getting protein from the plants is actually not true. And equally so, when they tell you that you're getting protein and you need protein to stay strong, look around and tell me about the people who are eating meat. What is it that is actually making people stronger? Is working out, staying active, and actually eating your plants, eating the plants. And I'm going to keep on repeating that. Am I actually talking you into becoming vegan? No, but of course, if you are looking for some things that are making sense in your life, you would understand that that is a necessary step to take. So to explain further, look around, look at the people that are consuming a lot of meat, and tell me who amongst them is fit. The only reason why they would be fit is because they are going to the gym. So basically, look at the strongest animals as well out there in the wild. I'm not talking about the lion. The lion is not the strongest animal. It's a very clever animal, but it's not strong. Elephants, your gorillas, your rhinos, all the strongest animals. The strongest animals are the ones that are actually eating only plants. They are vegan, and they are, very much selective in what they are eating. So there's quite a lot of things basically that we have to talk about when we talk about health, when we actually explain things to you, to say, okay, these are the steps that you need to take for you to get a proper cleanse. I have said to you that, of course, the food matters. Number two, your water. The water intake is very, very important. For you to have an effective detox, you have to wash down the toxins. After, of course, you've taken the phosphate of herbs, all the facts, the herbs that are going to remove the toxins from your system. What you're looking at is removing the mucoid plaque gradually. So by doing so, you are allowing the minerals to be absorbed in your body. So while you are removing those toxins, you need to drink enough water. Number one, to wash off the toxins. Number two, to make sure that the herbs, because all herbs are diuretic, to make sure that those herbs that you are using are not draining you, because they will drain you. If they are diuretic, it means they're taking water out of you. Of course, to create the bulk in your system, they have to use a lot of water. I'm going to just go on and on. If there is anybody who would love to ask a question, stop me and I'll be very happy to answer. But to explain this in a thorough manner, I need to just continue so that you guys have a clear understanding of what I'm talking about. So you do need to drink enough water, but not just any water. And many people would then say that, okay, this comes very expensive, but I don't think medical aid is expensive. I don't think a hospital bill is actually cheap, rather. I don't think the medical aid is cheap either as well. So you'd rather look at your health, look after your health, look at how you are eating so that you avoid those things that are going to end up putting you in a hospital, or they're going to end up, getting you sick, and you are helpless and hopeless because you don't know what to do. Most of the times when a person gets sick, they are told that they are iron deficient. And I'm just taking it from the top. I'm just going to grab here and there so that I make sense of what I'm talking about. So if you are iron deficient, I told you that when you are clogged up with toxins and you've got the mucoid plaque that is lining your system or lining your intestines, you are not able to absorb the minerals because, of course, there is that barrier. Absorption happens in your stomach, in your colon rather. So if you cannot absorb those minerals, supposedly, that you're getting minerals from the food that you're eating. If you fail to absorb those minerals, when you go to the doctor, they're going to end up telling you that you're iron deficient. The reason why they will tell you that you're iron deficient is because iron is the only mineral that is magnetic. What do I mean by that? Iron attracts all minerals to itself, all minerals to itself. So when they tell you that you're iron deficient, it means that you're lacking or you're deficient in all the minerals. Then you have to supplement on all those minerals. How do you do that? Eat right, eat the right food, alkaline foods, eat the organic foods, wherever you can, whenever you can. Eat organic. Try by all means to eat as much fruits and vegetables as you possibly can. And do I mean stay away from meat? Yes. Let me now talk about meat. This is a very touchy.
Okay, Kanyisile, let's take a question. There is a question. Yes. The hand is up from TT Periwinkle. TT.
All right. Yes. Thank you for the opportunity. While you were talking about the water. So I just want to know whether the tap water, because there's a debate with the water. The tap water, is it okay? There's alkaline ionized water and the spring water. I don't know if it's available here in South Africa. What is your take on that?
You said alkaline, spring, and ionized.
Can you?
I can hear. Well, I heard alkaline, spring, and ionized water. Okay, I'm gonna answer you according to what I heard. Alkaline water can only be natural spring water. If it is alkalized, that is different. We're not talking about the water where they add the minerals, the synthetic minerals into the water and filter it, add those synthetic minerals and then call it alkalized water. They would call it alkaline water, but it is alkalized. There's alkaline water. Alkaline water, you can get it from your natural spring, or you can get it from the hot springs. The hot springs are, very therapeutic as well. Or the thermal water. Thermal water, this is the water that is actually very healing. It's the healing water. They naturally come with a pH of 8 and above, not even 7. 7 is neutral.
they come with a pH of 8 and above, meaning it's alkaline. That's what makes them alkaline. The minerals that should be in that water should be the minerals that it actually derives from the rocks or from the sand or from the soil where it actually springs. It cannot be the minerals that are added into a bottle of filtered water. Ionized, of course, this is when the ions are actually added into the water. And I hope you understand how I answered. Titi, are you answered?
I think she's answered. If she's not answered, she'll raise other questions. You can continue.
Okay. I've lost track of where I was. I was talking about iron. So basically, when you are lacking iron, you are lacking all the minerals. You do need to make sure that you supplement on all those minerals. I will give you a list of herbs that you can get that are very good with iron. So basically, when you introduce iron into your system, you are making sure that you are introducing all the minerals. Remember, our organs need fuel. They need the fuel to run properly, and our organs only run because of the minerals that we are getting from what we are eating, what we are drinking, what we are applying on our skin, what we are washing ourselves with. I'm not leaving out what we are applying on our skin. I'm not leaving out what we are washing ourselves with. We are fortunate that our water is not, is not fluoridated, you know, but we do take a lot of fluorine into our system through the toothpaste that we are eating. So the reason why I'm counting or why I'm mentioning those are the things that are actually getting your system, that are getting toxins into your system, like your fluorine. Fluorine is a toxin. Everybody knows that fluorine is or fluoride rather, not fluorine. Fluoride is a rat poison. Everybody knows that, but of course they think because you are a bigger rat, you're not dying immediately, you know, expecting you to take fluoride and die immediately. No, it's not going to kill you immediately, but believe you me, the little poison that goes into your system is actually eroding your cells, meaning it's causing inflammation, and that inflammation turns into mucus, and then they're going to tell you that you've got, let's say, arthritis, you've got meningitis, which is basically just a disease, is a mucus. One. There's no many disease. It's just one disease. It's mucus. It's just based on where it is located in your system. If it is in your eyes, it's conjunctivitis. They're gonna call it all different names. On your knuckles, they're gonna call it arthritis. If it is in your head or your brain, they're gonna call it meningitis, schizophrenia, and so on and so forth. So basically, with all those diseases that the list of diseases that they mention out there, there is one common denominator. There is anemia. Anemia is the lack of iron. I can guarantee you, everybody who has been hospitalized, everybody who has been, suffering from any disease, they tell them one thing and one thing only, that they are lacking iron. Amongst the things that I actually forgot to mention when I was talking about things that are supporting the system, including the iron, that is sunlight, sun exposure. Sun exposure is very important, because then when you go outside in the sun, you are actually making sure that you get all the minerals into your system. This is a way of healing. There are people who are called breatharians. They do not eat at all. For those people who are always arguing the fact that nobody can live without eating, yes, you can, because you derive your food from the minerals. We are used to the bulk. We are addicted to the bulk. But basically what we need is the minerals. We do not need the bulk. And the sun.
Kanyisile, let me stop you right there. Just pause right there and we take Nompumelelo.
Nompumelelo Mtusha.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I just wanted us to go back a little on what you were saying about mucus. how does one get rid of mucus in their system? Is there an herb that one can use in order to assist in getting rid of mucus in the system?
Yes,
Thank you.
Nompumelelo. Okay, to answer your question, yes, there's quite a number of herbs that you can use to get rid of the mucus. We are talking about the colon, cleansing the colon. There is a compound called colon and intracellular cleansing. I'm not trying to promote my product, but it is very important that I talk about what I believe in. It is important that I talk about the ingredients of that compound. Okay, the herbs that are in that part, they actually make sure that you get rid of the mucus from your system. We are talking about mucus, and this is a very important and a touchy subject, particularly during this time and when we are experiencing the difficulties in the whole world. So what we need to get rid of the mucus in every part of our organs, and we need to make sure that we get rid of the mucus the right way. Okay, I said, of course, the mucus is a disease. If anybody has seen a dog, a sick dog, and have witnessed what a dog does when it is sick, it stops eating altogether and it chews on some grass. After it chews on the grass, it throws a ball of mucus with that grass. So basically the grass acts as a roughage. It acts as the much needed roughage. So basically what it does, it goes and it scrubs where there is the mucus, and then it comes up with that ball of mucus. Right after that, when it's done throwing that ball of mucus, it then drinks water and goes about its life. It really doesn't, take that long before it goes back to eating and living its life. To go back to the question of the number of herbs that you can take to get rid of the mucus, the number one herb that is very good in getting rid of mucus is your elderberries. Elderberry is one of the herbs that is very high in so many minerals. One very good benefit when you're using an elderberry is that it gets rid, or you get rid of the mucus from particularly your respiratory system. The other herb that is good is your sea moss. Sea moss is very good in getting rid of the mucus. Then there's plenty other ones. I'm going to mention a few. There's Cascara sagrada, which is your buckthorn. There is rhubarb root. There's cassia. There's quassia. There is sarsaparilla, yellow dock. This is recorded. So if you want to go back to what I have just mentioned, you may do so. And there's quite a number of other, like your blessed thistle as well. You can get rid of the mucus through those. The combination of herbs is equally important as well. It depends on what you are trying to achieve. If you want to, let's say you want to cleanse your colon, you mix certain herbs in certain ratios so that they work to your advantage. Some of the herbs are carminative, some are expectorants. Carminative, it means that it doesn't cause you to experience that pain when you're detoxing and you're going to the toilet and you feel like all your insides are coming out. That is what carminative herbs do. They actually make sure that the process is as smooth as possible. That is also the pain, by the way, is also encouraged by the foods, the type of foods or the type of lifestyle a person leads. And when we talk about expectorants, expectorant herbs is the ones that are taking out the mucus. Another, the other culinary herbs, rather, the culinary herbs that you can use on a daily basis to help you with mucus reduction or mucus elimination is your capsicum, your cayenne pepper, and you can also use your ginger. Those are very good in actually making sure that you get rid of the mucus. I hope you are answered, Nompumelelo, but going further, It is
Thank you very much. I am. Thank
important.
you so much.
Okay, 100%. Thank you. So it is important that we follow the right regimen when it comes to detoxing, and making sure that while a person detoxes or cleanses their system, they do not run out of electrolytes. Electrolytes is just basically your minerals. We have to make sure that you do not detox yourself to death. How we do that is, while you are detoxing, it is important that we make sure that you get enough minerals in the process. So how we do that is by introducing iron while you are detoxing. We cannot do without the iron. You have to do it together. If you are just gonna go on and detox without looking at making sure that you're putting back the minerals that have been lost. Remember, when you are now clogged up and you've got this mucoid plaque in your system, it means that you're not absorbing enough minerals, you are losing energy. When you're losing energy, it means, of course, that the minerals are not enough. You're deficient in minerals. So when you are detoxing, you're making way. This is very important. You're making way for the minerals to be absorbed in your system. Make sure that when you are detoxing, you are taking iron on a daily basis. And another very important thing, when you are detoxing, hear me very well on this one. The reason why people get sick when they detox is because they do not follow instructions. Instructions are, when you are detoxing, is either you detox and go on a fast, you fast on herbs and water. Water is your alkaline water, natural spring water, which has a pH level of 8 and above. Yes, Mr. Rakolote?
Yeah, there is a question from Facebook from Taushole Masemola.
Yes.
The question says, what about the renal failure patients with intake of water because they are iron deficient? That's the question.
What about the renal failure patients?
Yeah, I don't know if the question is complete. I'll request him to rewrite the question, but it says, what about the renal failure patients with intake of water because they are iron deficient? But if the question is not clear, I'll request Taushole Masemola, please rewrite your question again on Facebook and I'll pose it to Kanyisile. But you can continue, Kanyisile.
Okay, thank you so much. I was still talking about the importance of what you should do while you are detoxing. What is important is that when you are detoxing, remember I said you're making way for the minerals to be absorbed. You are getting rid of the mucoid plaque. You are also getting rid of the toxins. You're making sure that you are cleaning yourself up. When you are cleaning yourself, you make sure that whatever that you are putting back inside is of the highest value, highest nutrients, minerals that are the phosphate of minerals. You cannot put back the synthetic minerals. Let me explain a little bit about the synthetic minerals. When you receive the drugs from the doctor, they always tell you that do not take them on an empty stomach. The reason why you cannot take them on an empty stomach is because they land straight onto your mucus membrane. We have a skin on the outside of the body, like you've got a skin. So do you on the inside. It's called mucus membrane. The mucus membrane is basically enveloping every organ on the inside. So even starting from the mouth, you've got the mucus membrane. So when they say do not take the pills, do not take the drugs on an empty stomach, it's because they need some cushioning. You have to eat something so they don't land directly on the skin, because if they land on the skin, they erode the cells. They erode where they landed because they're acidic. With the herbs assimilate with the body. It's like I'm actually giving you an apple to heal yourself. So basically, when I say take the sarsaparilla, when I say take sarsaparilla, it's like I'm asking you to eat something that is actually going to benefit you greatly, that is going to mineralize your system greatly. So it's basically healing you through food. It assimilates with your body. Iron goes where it's needed, zinc goes where it's needed. Every mineral goes to where it's needed and where it is actually helping your body, unlike when you have to take something that is actually going to erode the body. So when it comes to taking herbs and in comparison to taking drugs, you can take herbs freely without having eaten anything at all on an empty stomach. It is actually quite advisable for some herbs to be taken on an empty stomach so that they are absorbed greatly. In a case of a person who is ill and they cannot take the herbs orally, they cannot take the herbs the way we would love for them to take herbs. There is so many ways where you can take herbs. Remember, our skin as well absorbs. So if a person has to, let's say, take herbs and they are failing to actually ingest or take a powder or a tonic or a capsule, we can actually dip them in a pool of herbs. Of course, the herbs have to be in a tonic form. They have to be in a tea form. So if failure to, to that as well, we can introduce the herbs to a person with a suppository as well. Not all herbs can be introduced through the suppository manner. So basically there's so many ways in which one can actually be healed or one can reverse a disease through herbs. When you are detoxing, I'm actually, whatever that I touch, that I see is important to dwell on, or I see the importance to talk more about, I do so. But I was talking about what you should be careful of while you're detoxing. The very important thing is that when you're detoxing and you're removing the toxins, you're removing the mucoid plaque, it's important that you replace it with the proper food. If you're gonna remove the mucoid plaque, remove the toxins, and then drink Coca-Cola afterwards, you're failing yourself. That's when people get sick. Because remember, your body is ready, is very much ready to absorb in great amounts the minerals that you are taking or whatever poison that you are taking. So if you have detoxed, you have cleansed your system, you've detoxed your body, and now you feel like you want to, have a glass of wine, you want to have some whiskey, you want to have Coca-Cola, you're gonna get sick, guaranteed. You will get sick because those are acids. Those are terrible acids. And people, always ask me about wine, and they say it's made out of grapes. Yes, that is true. How much grapes is there, and how in comparison to the chemicals that are there? And yes, it's fermented grapes. Fermentation on its own is acid. It introduces acids into the system. When I said to you that meat is actually very bad for you, is because, of course, when it putrefies, it then ferments, it makes that acid. You can imagine 72 hours in your system, and the acid is just going around your system, eating you up. Obviously, those acids are the ones that are actually creating disease. Besides the acids that you're getting from all the foods that we're eating, the other thing that is very important to talk about is how does the food come about? I'm going to talk about meat. Your chicken is grown for 6 weeks maximum. And what they do is, from when it is hatched, they introduce growth hormones. Those hormones end up in your system. When they say you are what you eat, it is exactly that. You are indeed what you eat. So if the chicken was raised or was grown by hormones, you are also taking those hormones. A cow, exactly the same thing. The milk you're drinking, first, they milk that poor cow for decades. I'm exaggerating. They milk it for forever. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of inflammation on that udder. It's going to have pus, it's going to have blood. Of course, when it comes into the bucket, it's all mixed up. And they tell you that drink your milk. You have never seen a cow drink your milk, but we are very happy to drink everybody else's milk. Then they take that milk, they bleach it, okay, they pasteurize it, and then they bleach it, of course. And everybody knows this, but of course, we are very happy to drink it. So basically, whatever additions they put into the foods that we're eating, they end up in our system. I talked about fluoride, exactly the same thing with the meat, exactly the same thing with your milk. and everything else. How they make your food is very important. The best source of food is natural, the natural way of growing your food. Have a garden, even if it is just 2 pots outside, have something that you have grown yourself, something that is going to be grown with the beauty of the sun and nature and pure water, probably from the rain, or even, the municipality water. Do whatever it takes to eat from the garden. It's much, much better to eat fruits and vegetables. Even the wrong fruits and vegetables, they're still much better than the meats. They're still much better than all the other things combined that we're eating. Talking about, what we, particularly Black people, think it's our staple, maize meal. Most of the people, or some people, don't even understand that corn has a season. They think corn has to be grown, or it actually grows throughout the season, grows throughout the year. Corn has a season. It grows in some seasons, and it stops growing, of course, then you stop enjoying the fruit. Then, of course, it grows the next year. But if you go around your corner right now, there's going to be corn that is sold that is genetically modified. The first thing that is wrong about corn is that it is not the actual corn that we're supposed to be eating. The natural corn from the origin, natural alkaline corn is called teosinte. Very thin. And then there came that other one, the colorful one. It has gone through so much evolution, you will not believe it. And what we are actually eating now, it has even been proven that it has cocaine. Do your own research as well, you're going to find out. Corn, wheat, and all the other things. Soy, your soya is not even meant to be consumed by even animals, but they are very fast to tell you that you can have your tofu, you can, instead, when you are vegan, have your tofu. When you're vegan, have your, soy milk. It is also, it steals minerals from you. It is called, it basically creates that barrier. It also encourages hormone imbalance. That's why when men take a lot of soy products, they develop boobs, because now they are hormonal, you understand? So when it comes to things that we are supposed to eat as opposed to things that we are supposed to eat, we have to take responsibility for that. We cannot rely on somebody else. It is your health. It is very important that you take responsibility for what goes into your system. I think I've talked enough. I'm just going to wait for the questions. I don't know if there is anything at all that I have not covered, but the process of colon and intracellular cleansing, the intracellular part, yes, I think this is what I haven't covered. When you do a colon and intracellular cleansing, the reason why it is called colon and intracellular is because you cannot cleanse the colon, let the toxins go and sit on your kidneys, because the kidneys are your filters. So basically, it's like servicing your car. When you are dealing with the engine, you have to change everything, your spark, your filters, your everything. So does your body. You cannot change your kidneys and whatnot, but you can cleanse them. There's herbs that are basically very good for cleansing those organs. So that is why it is called the intracellular cleansing. It's called colon and intracellular because you cleanse your colon. The toxins are then have to be emptied from your organs so that your organs don't back up. Otherwise, you might end up with a kidney failure, a liver problem. You do not want that. That's why when you do a colon cleansing, you cannot just go with a person who's going to say, I'm going to cleanse your colon. Where does the toxin, how is a lot of toxins that are supposed to be filtered by your organs going to be effectively filtered without a problem being created? You have to make sure that you cleanse those organs as well. I think I've covered most of the things. If you do have any questions, please make sure that you raise your hand.
There's a question which says, what is your view on these seedless fruits? For example, seedless grapes. What is your view on
Seedless grapes.
Yeah.
I'm happy somebody asked that question. Anything seedless is genetically modified or hybridized, or both, genetically modified and hybridized. How is it growing? How does it produce or reproduce after itself? If it doesn't have seeds, do not put it in your mouth. Seedless grapes, of course, we all know that they are made in the lab. So we cannot be just happy because it is sweet and you don't have to deal with the seeds. Actually, the reason why you are having grapes at all is because of the seeds. The seeds are the ones that are containing all the nutrients that you need, or the skin actually of the grape and the seeds are where the most nutrients are. So it's not just the grapes, of course, it goes for all of them. Your watermelon, soon enough, you're going to be eating avocado without a sip, without the pip. You're just going to be cutting through the flesh. You're going to be eating meat that didn't come from animals because of stem cells as well.
Colleagues, thank you so much, Kanyisile. Colleagues, it's time for questions, comments. Any question, comment from members here? I'll also check on Facebook. Any question, comments, colleagues that you want to ask Kanyisile? It appears that there's no question. Or
I hope it was clear.
Yeah, you were very clear.
Yes.
Maybe colleagues are still shocked about what he said. There's a hand from Joe Komani. Let's hear what Joe will say. Joe?
Good afternoon, colleagues. Chairperson, if I'm holding the floor, I actually joined late, but I could get the gist of it at the tail end. Just 3 steps of detoxifying the body, detoxing the body. I just want to get those ones, the steps of detoxing the body.
Okay, what would you like to get? The herbs.
Just tell me the procedures, whether herbs or whatever, that which I was not part of the debate. Please bear with me. I just want the steps or the procedures for detoxing the body. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Actually, the only way of detoxing the body is through the natural process. You can do it through just the fruits and vegetables by juicing and going on a fast and using water to just flush it down. The most effective one is by using the detoxing herbs. Those herbs, of course, make sure that they remove the toxins from your system, flush it out of your system. And when you are using the herbs, of course, you have to use them in conjunction with those that are going to cleanse the organs as well. You can't just cleanse the colon, but not do the organs. So yes, the herbs are the only way that you can cleanse your system effectively, because they assimilate with the body. They do not sort a symptom and then leave you with issues. They actually take care of your system because they assimilate with your system. Whatever you need, meaning the minerals that are needed by your body, the herbs, the plants are the only ones that can provide that.
Okay, thank you so much, Kanyisile. I've got a question.
Another question, Chairperson, just a follow-up.
Okay.
Is the body not having the capacity to detox to the extent that we need external measures or mechanisms to detox the body?
I'm very happy that you've asked that question. The body is very much capable of detoxing the system or detoxing itself, but not lately because of the foods, the lifestyle, the pollution, and everything else that goes with it that is happening. The body needs help. In the olden days, I don't know if everybody remembers this. The older generation, they always had a tonic that the children would take to actually just make sure that they flush the body once in a while. Now we need that more than ever because of the lifestyle, because of the diets, because of the poisons that we're introducing to our system. If you're gonna say that the body has the capacity to detox itself. Why are people so sick?
Yeah, thank you so much, Kanyesile. I've got a question here and I'm going to read it as it is.
Yes.
What is your view about spade? I don't know, spade, but what is your view about spade?
Anima, the anima.
No, spade as a form of cleansing.
Yes, it's a beta, yes, it's an anima.
Okay.
The anima, it was used properly by those who knew how to use it. We can still use it. Not all herbs can go up the system. And also, not a huge amount of liquid can go the opposite direction. If it was meant to be that way, trust me, some would be throwing up for defecation. But the system goes one way, it goes the opposite direction, the only way that is known. So if a person has to detox through an enema, it's spade, you have to inject a certain amount of liquids or fluid the opposite direction through the rectum, such that it does not go into the gallbladder, because the gallbladder faces up. So if those fluids get into that, you cannot empty it, you understand? Then it means that all the dirt has come into the gallbladder. And now the person is going to be suffering inflammation, dirt and toxins that are actually gotten into that. I understand that people do 25 liters. How do you put 25 liters up your ass? Excuse my Zulu. But it's people who are knowledgeable, people who can do it properly. And the proper way is to not inject a lot of fluids or liquid up, because of course the system only allows the one direction. And not all herbs are allowed to go that direction. And sometimes spade is used when a person cannot take minerals orally. So we use spade. So you cannot say, we need you to take minerals, but you are putting 20 liters of minerals. They're obviously going to reject that. It's going to go out. So you have to put, let's say, 25 mils at a time, or 125 mils at a time, so that they keep it in and absorb it. If you want anything to be absorbed effectively in a person's body, you have to put it up the rectum.
Thank you so much, colleagues. Any question?
I think Titi had a question.
The Titi, I think, is gone. How often can one do colon cleansing? And what do you recommend? That's a question from Winnie.
If you are alkaline, hello Winnie. If you are alkaline and you live an alkaline lifestyle, you can do a colon cleanse at least 4 times a year, depending on your health, 4 to 6 times a year. If you are not, particularly these days, anything from 6 to 8 times a year is allowed.
Okay, let's hope that TT will come back. Any questions, colleagues? Please write in the chat box if you've got questions, or raise up your hand before we close. Let me check the Facebook page if there are some questions. Any question, colleagues? Okay, before we close, can you see, maybe if people want to get hold of you and keep in touch with you, but there's a question here. Let me just take this question from Dr. Velapi. Let me read the question properly. Maybe Dr. Velapi, because I can't read it properly. Please just ask the question, Dr. Velapi. If you don't mind, Dr. Velapi, switch on your mic and ask the question.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Dr. Velapi.
Yes, I was just, it's just a comment also. Yeah, I see nowadays recently research is leaning more towards inflammation as a hallmark of most of the diseases. Even in mental health, they talk of depression as being, having a disease progression which leans more on inflammation. I heard you talking more about inflammation, and it is one of an element that has been looked at as a cause of most of the diseases. What's your take on that?
Thank you very much for the question. I am 100% agreeing with that. Minerals are supposed to supply our system for mental capacity, or for us to think properly, and for growing ourselves, and obviously for beauty, for all sorts of things. I will even make an example with eating a bag of potatoes. When a person has eaten a bag of chips, you do not want to do anything. You do not want to think, you do not want to work, you just want to sleep. If it wasn't affecting your mind, clearly, then it wouldn't matter, if you understand what I mean. Or let me put it this way. If food was not affecting your mind, those chips wouldn't make you want to just sleep. If you're taking a glass of wine, it also affects your system. You feel a certain way, you are intoxicated. So with the foods that we are taking, the inflammation, it also depends on where it happens. The mental inflammation, the inflammation that causes people to experience schizophrenia, habits, or whatever you call it, they are all related to the foods that we're eating. So it is true, whether it's insanity or whatever really that happens to a person's body, is because of the food. The food then introduces inflammation into the system. I hope you are answered there, Dr. Velaphi.
There's a question from.
Thank you, ma'am.
There's a question from Joe which says, "What about hokapa, a traditional practice of boiling water, mixing it with certain ingredients you drink and vomit? What about hokapa? What's your view on hokapa?"
Hokapa, throwing up or vomiting, or
Yes.
induced vomiting. The stomach has acids that can actually burn you alive. Like if you were to empty the stomach acids into a pool and you dip yourself into the pool, you will die. You'll actually die of those acids. So if we are GABA, and I'm sure everybody who has experienced GABA involuntarily, or because they want to GABA voluntarily, they have experienced the burning of the esophagus, of the throat. That is because of those acids. So if if we are GABA all the time, you can imagine how much you are inflaming your throat, how much you are actually introducing, because those acids are coming from the stomach, they're actually coming up. When a person has, there is a condition called hernia. This is when a person has a tear on their intestine, actually is just up there next to the pancreas somewhere there, and then that the tube sort of bursts or pushes, or it bulges and it bursts. When the hernia is introduced, or when a person has hernia, a condition called hernia, the reason why it doesn't heal is because the stomach acids keep on coming up, and they keep on coming up because of the food that is introduced into the system. Remember at the beginning, I said when meat putrefies, it makes acids. So it actually adds to the acids that you already have in your system, then it comes up. And when it comes up, it gets into that hernia, into that opening on the intestine, and then it erodes it further, causing that opening not to heal. So basically, ukugapa, it actually makes those acids to come up. That's why the people about gapayo, they always have to clear their throat, because of course there's that inflammation caused by the acids.
Thank you so much. The other question is that what can one take to gradually to detox on daily basis while introducing the alkaline lifestyle to the rest of the family? What can one take to gradually detox on daily basis while introducing the alkaline lifestyle to the rest of the family?
One thing that you have to do, of course, is to make sure that you cook with culinary herbs that detox your system. All the expectorants or the herbs that are called expectorants, your cayenne pepper, and I'm talking about on a daily basis when a person wants to gradually, you know, get into the lifestyle. Cayenne pepper, ginger. You know, this actually brings me to a very important mention. Garlic is very acidic. Is on number 3 on your pH scale. And everybody always talks about how good garlic is. It is not. It's very acidic. But let me talk about cayenne and ginger. Cayenne, ginger, and lime. Lime, not lemon. If you can get lime. If you cannot get lime, get seeded lemons. Lemons already, they are hybridized, but seeded lemons are better. You can make a concoction in the morning of the cayenne pepper, ginger, and lime juice. Mix those 3, drink them up, whether with cold water or warm water. Just make sure that that's the first thing you drink in the morning. You are now starting to make sure that your system is letting go of the mucus. It helps with a lot of things. Remember, I said cayenne is an expectorant. If it is an expectorant, it then brings up the mucus. Mucus is a disease. So when it does that, it actually helps your system quite a lot. And then you can gradually introduce yourself to all the other herbs that I've mentioned and more. There's plenty.
Thank you so much, Kanyisile. If one wants to get hold of you, what are the contact details?
All right, let me give you my numbers. If you would love to get a hold of me, my numbers are 083 271 3867. You can call me on that number. I'm going to repeat it, 083 271 3867. Or you can
anytime.
give me a WhatsApp. Yes.
So we can call anytime.
You can call anytime. Yes, please.
Oh.
And you can WhatsApp. You can give me a WhatsApp on 082 257 2216. 082 257 2216. I've got a Facebook account as well, Electric Alkaline Lifestyle with Look Well. That's a group. Electric Alkaline Lifestyle with Look Well, or just look for Glen Rose Nkosi. Glen Rose Nkosi. Can join there, or you can request a friendship, and then I will help you to join the group if you would love to join the group. That's where we share a lot of information. On those numbers that I've given you, I will add you on a WhatsApp group where we share cooking tips, we share foods, we share, all the information, including books, the reads that you would love to have to get you started.
Thank you so much, Kanyisile. I'll request all my attendees to switch on their cameras as a form of saying a goodbye to you and thanking you so much. Thank you so much, Kanyisile, and colleagues. Have a lovely evening. Switch on your cameras. Let's see all of you.
Hello, hello, hello.